All right, welcome back. So now what I want to talk about is how to figure out the angles for each one of the sides of your object, and also how to set up a technical drawing with a rendering of your object for the final submission. So let's do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our object. So this is the model that I've kind of created here. I've got individual layers also for like the glass and for like the frame. And if we look at it in rendered, we can see I've got a ground plane and stuff set up here. And now I'm ready to add some materials. So to add materials, first thing you need to do to make sure you have your materials panel on, you go to show panels from the little settings here and you click on materials. Okay. And then it'll put a little tab over here. You can create new materials by adding a material right here. These are some of the basic stuff, like if you're doing plastics, or if you want to look at different color combinations, if you want to see like, oh, I'm going to be doing orange plexiglass. I want to see how it looks with different colors. You can select paint colors and stuff here. So I'm going to go ahead and select paint. And then once you've got paint selected, I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop this onto my frame. Okay, it's white, so it doesn't change the color. All right, so next we can change the color of the object of this here. So I can kind of pick which kind of tones I want through the wheel, or some kind of thumbnails and stuff here. Maybe this yellow. Sure, why not? Okay, cool. So now we've added that to it. You can also change whether or not you want it super matte or super glossy. And this will look more dramatic when you do your ray traced rendering. And then we can add things like, let's see, create new material, and I'll do a glass material here. And then I can change the color of the glass to make it kind of look a little bit more like plexiglass. Maybe I'll do like this gold or orange color here. And then drag it onto here. And in this view, you won't be able to see the glass. But if you put it in ray, you won't see the color of the glass, I should say. All right, so I'm going to select all of these windows. And then right click, assign to objects. And I've actually put all of the glass on a layer, so I can also go assign to layers of objects. And that should get all of, oh, that didn't work. Whatever. Should be, oh, assigned to layers. I don't know which layer it is. Well, I'll just assign it to objects. Assign to objects. There we go. So now I've got all sides with glass on it. Cool. So that's how you add materials to it. Then you're going to kind of pick a view that looks good. And then I'm going to go up to the top here into the render properties. And I'm going to select a resolution. My viewport dimensions 2092. This is actually a fine resolution. You can always bump it up. You can make a square resolution. You can make a custom resolution. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it like that. Quality wise, you might just leave it in draft quality, 50 samples if your computer doesn't have dedicated graphics cards and stuff like that. I'll leave mine at good. And then as far as environments and stuff go, you can do all kinds of fun stuff here. So maybe I'll, right now I've got the background set as a 360-degree environment studio, which is going to give me studio lights, which is great. Ground plane on, I can also click here to use a material, and I can add a new material and add a material to it. I'm going to use metal for mine. Lighting, skylight, studio is what I like to use. And all of these settings look great. And I'll hit OK. And so now that gives me kind of like a metallic base. And you can see now I've got that studio light up at the top there. Cool. So once that's ready and you kind of pick the view you want, you just type the word render. And this is going to give you a photorealistic representation of your design. And you can see now my red glass is showing. Cool. And once that's done, you click up here to save it to your wherever. I'll save it to your desktop and call it delete because I'm going to delete this. All right, so that's kind of the basics of materials and kind of picking colors. What's nice about this is, of course, before you paint your object, you can spend some time figuring out what looks good together and nail that kind of tone that you want to do. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about how to set up a new layout for a technical drawing of this. So first, I'm going to really quickly change my materials to match my design. I just want to make sure that I'm using the proper materials for my design. All right. So switching back over here, I'm going to switch to shaded view. And I forgot one other thing. I want to show how to get the angles. So any of your parts of your object that has different angles, you want to measure them. And the easiest way to do that is extract surface, turn copy onto yes, and then select a couple of surfaces that you're going to want to measure the angle. Hit enter, and then move it away. And so since we copied it, it didn't actually take those surfaces off of that, but we do have these right here. And to measure this angle, we're going to type a command, angle, enter. I'm going to turn off my center snap, and you basically just need mid and perpendicular. And I'm going to go ahead and do angle. I misspelt it. There it is. I'm going to go from this endpoint to a perpendicular, and then from this midpoint, which is also perpendicular, to this endpoint. And I get a 41.81 degree angle. And that is the total angle of these two pieces, which means we do need to divide that by 2 to get the angle that we're going to use to create the beveled edge that will join these two together at the perfect angle to make our our fabricated object when we're bandsaw, table saw, sanding, whatever we're doing to get that edge to the right degree. So make a note of that. Usually I like to write that actually right on the wood that is related to the object. That's why we waited to this moment to kind of look up these angles, because you should already have these parts fabricated. Okay, so now we've got that angle. The next thing we want to do is start creating our technical drawing. So let's do that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn back on all my layers. That I know I've got my glass on a layer here. Where's my glass? A mirror. So let's go right there. Okay. Bring that back. And then I'm going to switch views. So I can actually go to a top view here. If I type Z, enter A, enter E, enter for zooming on extents, I am now zoomed in on the top of my object. My object is aligned with the grid, which is lovely, but if yours is not, you want to just rotate this to kind of fit your grid the right direction. Just kind of eyeball it as good as you can to make it look nice and straight. Okay, and then I'm going to type make 2D. Actually, I've got some curves on here still, so I'm going to turn off all my curves. So I'm going to go to Edit, Select Objects, Curves. I guess I don't have curves. Okay. It's fine. Make 2D. Select my object here and hit Enter. And then I'm going to make sure I've got all of these set here like that and hit OK. All right, then we'll move our little top view up here. Okay. Looks good. And then I'm going to go to a front view here and type make 2D again. And of course, remember that you can only use make 2D. It's projecting from whatever view you're looking at the object from. So you have to be looking at it from the right perspective in order to get the right view in your 2D. Okay, switch to perspective here, and you should see it pop onto the top here. Cool. Now, my object does not have a ton of differentiation between top, front, left, right. So I'm only going to do these 2 views, but you should do as many views as necessary to show your object. Okay. And also say like things aren't the right scale anymore, like you changed some scale stuff when you did your laser cutting. You can always figure out the size of that the object should be by drawing a line. So if I wanted to be like, okay, what size is this? I want it to be 12 inches. Draw a line, and then just type 12 quote for 12 inches, click, enter, and then click, and now you have a guideline. You can place your object next to this guideline. Go to a top view here. Place it right next to the guideline, like so. Okay, and I can see that mine is about that proper size. Cool. So mine is correct. If yours is not correct, there's a couple of different ways you can scale. So I'm going to grab everything in the scene and then command click or control click on this to deselect it. And then I'm going to use the scale tool. So you might also want to make sure that you've got like all of your layout stuff, everything that you're going to change the size of. I'll select it at once, and we type scale, enter. And then we select a base point for displacement, which will be this spot right here, click. And then I'm going to drag this. This is going to be like a handle that we can use to control the scale. So I click, drag it out and click, and I can control the scale of my object to match the line scale that we want to have, so it matches the design scale, because we want to make sure our technical drawing is accurate and it's portraying the size that our object ended up being. Cool. So now I've got my two views. The last view I want to do is an isometric. So I'm going to go up here and go to set view, and I'm going to go to isometric, and I'm going to do a northeast isometric. All right. And again, make 2D. Select my object, enter, okay. Okay, so we have our last one. Top view again. So I've got my set view here. I'm going to just go ahead and pop it into top here. Okay, and I'm going to just arrange these. I'm going to do like a basically 4 panel, right? Again, mine look very similar, but most of yours will have subtle differentiation. So this is the top view, this is a right view or front view, and this is an isometric. So the isometric over here, maybe. Next, we go over to our layout here. So let's add a layout, new layout. I'm going to do in inches. Width 17, height 11. Okay, cool. And then in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click right here and kind of move it around. I think I'm actually going to go ahead, move this one over here, move this one down here. And this arrangement is up to you, whatever you want to, however you want to arrange it, it's fine. Double click over here, and then I'm going to actually change the size of this and add another viewport here. So got this kind of over here. Spread these out a little bit, or actually, you know what? I'm going to bring them in a little closer to each other. Whoops. And just double clicking in, of course, is model space. Double clicking out is paper space. Then you can also change them up here from layout to detail. Detail and layout. Then I'm going to add another detail view. So I'm going to go up here to view and go to layout, add detail view. And I'm going to open this like this, just put it right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to switch back to my model space. And I'm going to type the word picture. And I'm going to go ahead on my desktop, find my delete image, and I'm going to import that. But I'm actually going to go to the one that I rendered that has more of a similarity to my design. And I'm going to drag and draw a little box. Boom. Cool. Switch to my layout here, and then double click into here. I'm going to zoom out, kind of arrange my rendering onto my page. All right. Next, I'm going to change the scale of this to make it something that, fits a scale factor. So I'm going to go over to properties. And I want to do a scale of maybe 1 millimeter equals 10. No, 5. How about 4? Yeah, 1 to 4 scale. Maybe what I'll do is I'm going to maybe arrange these vertical. If they all fit. So the way you arrange them is kind of up to you. I just destroyed the scale factor, but that's okay. Click on the border here, 1 to 4. Okay. Cool. So now I got my rendering and I've got these 3 here. I'm going to next do some dimensioning. So again, with the dimensions, I'm going to go up to edit, and then I've got to go to, file, properties, and then annotation styles, template, foot, inch, architectural. I'm going to create that again. Yes, I'm going to delete that. Do new, template, foot, inch, architectural, okay. Click on this, and then click on this and go to edit. So we're editing this. By default, I scale all sizes 30, enter. And then the lines, let's see. Looks good here. Looks good here. Dimension line extension, I'll do 3, then hit apply, okay. Now we'll do dim for dimension, making sure your snaps are on. I'm gonna go from, this is isometric. I'm not gonna dimension the isometric. I'm gonna just dimension the top view and the other one. So all my scale factor and everything looks good here. Let me delete that. Let's do this again, because I like to have a little gap in my dimensions here. So the proper way is to have a gap between your object and your dimension line, so it's a little easier to see, okay? So I've got that dimension there, and then let's do the height. And 11 1/4, huh? Yeah, whatever, that's fine. Another thing you can do is on our annotation style. So say like you have like 11 13/64 or something like that. We can set it so it rounds up to the nearest quarter or eighth of an inch. Go to our template again and go to tolerance. Not tolerance, it's, let's see. Length units here. Okay, round linear resolution here. If I do to the nearest eighth of an inch, apply, then if you have some random dimension, it'll just round it to the nearest eighth of an inch, which I think is good. And then I'm going to put a couple more dimensions in here just to make it a little bit clearer. So I'm going to go dim aligned this time so that it'll be aligned to my triangle. So I'm going to do a dim aligned. I want to see what each one of these triangle sizes are. So I'm going to go ahead to there, and then I've got a 7-inch there, and I want to see what are these here. So dim aligned. Enter brings up the same command again, so just remember that when we're working. Actually, I think this is the one. Maybe, let's see. Green to the green. Using the perpendicular here. So I've got that dimension there. just do a few dimensions, kind of showing sizes and scale and stuff like that. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and put in some text. Not text object, just text. First one will be always capitalize, isometric. And then we're going to do 1 foot. Wait, let's do. This is 3 inches equals a foot again, I think. 3 inches equals 1'0 inches. The dash. Okay. Click. Over here, we'll do Alt to copy it down. And then I actually want to edit this too. So I hit enter there. So this is on that side. I want to underline this. Isometric, 3 inches equals a foot. Okay. And then this one, I'm going to do top view. 3 inches equals 1'0 inches. Enter. Underline. Okay. And a front view. And I might move this. Let me just delete this and put it on the other side. Dim, enter. Not dim aligned, just dim. And line it up from one to the other there. Change this to a front view. Okay. Cool. So that now gives us a nice little design here, and I might even just move all of this over to it. Let me do this. Left to right, select on these dots here. Move it in. And left to right, select on these dots over here. Move it in. Okay, and then I'm going to move all of this over at once. Oh, is it going to break it? Let's see if it breaks it. I'm going to hit OK. I did it. Dang it. It's weird because it should move just fine. Let's do it again. Select all of this and then move it. Should be fine. Yeah. Okay, cool. It did move. All right. We're good here. Isometric. Oh, screwed up this. All right. Alt copy. Do top. All right. So you can control the size that your rendering is in your scene here, just to, make things fit. If you've got more sides, you can have it be really small. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Just try to fit as many sides as what's necessary. Get the dimensions going, and that's good to go. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a little title block on here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a rectangle around the whole thing up here down to right there. I'm going to actually change the line weight here. So let's go to line weight. Print width, I think is what we're looking for. 1 millimeter. And then again, we want to go display settings over here. Let's do display settings. Print display. Print display. Enter, and then state, let's put it on. Color set to print, viewport layout. Let's toggle that on. Okay, enter. And that way we can see that line. All right. And then let's go ahead and draw another rectangle in the corner here so we can put names and stuff on there. Cool. Again, same properties here. Let's go to our properties window, print width. We'll go to 1 millimeter, and then I'm going to put my name and stuff in here. And put the class and the date and stuff as well. Just going to put that for now. And we are good to print. So let's go ahead and go File, Print. And then I'm going to do, let's do black and white. Actually, no, I got to do display color. And I got to change the colors of the objects. Hold on a second. Okay, so to do that, what we're going to do is we'll switch back over to model space, select our objects here, and go over to print color and set it to custom, and you can change it to black here. Okay, and then display color is what it looks like there, but if I go to the layout on page 2 here, you can see that they're now black and white. And you can play with the line weights and stuff if you want to, but I think that this is fine. I'm going to go ahead and File, Print, save as PDF, and we're going to use print color, changes it to black, and resolution. Everything looks good here. Scale is 1:1. Okay. And 11:17, tabloid, 300. Okay, all looks good. Cool. So print, and we'll call it. Of course, you're going to use the proper naming convention and stuff like that. Let's see. Once it's done, will it open? Or do I need to find it? Oops. It is technical. Where is it? Right here. Yeah, and I'll probably go back and change some of the line weights and stuff like that, just because I'd like to have it look a little bit bolder and clearer. I might get rid of some of the extra hidden lines and, just clean it up a little bit. So I'm going to do that real quick here. Let's go back over here. Switch to perspective view. Okay, that is a lot, all right. Select all of the green, solid. And I'm going to bump that up. So let's go to print width, and I'm going to do 0.7. Okay. That's a little too much. All right, and I just redid it so that it applied, and yeah, so now I've got all of my line weights and stuff. I can't quite see the 5, but just going back and forth and trying to get it to look the way you want. And yeah, so this is the technical drawing and rendering. Good to go. Thank you all very much. I'll see you on the next one.